Although 52% of Americans say they want less government, the Biden vaccine mandate is moving forward. There's no backing off for this president and Democratic Party leaders. And just like with the southern border, Afghanistan, energy, and supply chain shortages, we're now heading for another crisis. You see, millions of Americans could face real hardship simply because they don't agree with the government mandate. Airline pilots, medical personnel, police officers, other vital workers are resisting the mandate. In Chicago, Mayor Lori Lightfoot is taking on the police. About 1/3 of the Chicago police force is yet to meet the vaccination requirement, so Lightfoot has ordered that they be suspended without pay if they fail to report their vaccination status. Whatever happened to health privacy rights? I guess they don't apply for the men and women in blue who risk their lives every day protecting the people of the Windy City. Folks, with violence skyrocketing and Chicago averaging more than 2 murders each day, the city cannot afford to dismiss 3,000 to 4,000 of its police officers. The city of Seattle is facing a similar crisis. And what about companies like Southwest Airlines? The Southwest Pilots Association is requesting a court injunction to prevent implementation of the company's vaccine deadline. Other Southwest workers are joining the pilots in protest.
Our employees have selflessly taken pay cuts, offered portions of their paychecks to make ends meet for this company. We are here to encourage Southwest to fight for employees' medical freedoms and the right to choose without losing your job.
Bowing to pressure, Southwest now says unvaxxed workers will keep their jobs as the company coordinates, quote, with them on meeting the requirements of vaccine or valid accommodation. And what about religious exemptions? Governments and businesses are learning they must take them seriously. They cannot disregard religious freedom. The U.S. Sixth Court of Appeals recently defended the right of athletes to play sports at Western Michigan University after the university denied their religious exemption requests. In a unanimous decision, the court ruled that WMU violated the First Amendment rights of the collegiate athletes. Another federal appellate court made a similar ruling for nurses in New York State. Airline pilots, healthcare workers, police officers, firefighters. Folks, don't you see that in the name of public health, the vaccination requirement is actually denying Americans their God-given rights and placing the security and economic well-being of our nation at risk? America is supposed to be the land of the free. You cannot instill confidence and trust in the vaccine and in government when you force people to choose between taking it or losing their livelihood. That's not the American way. That's tyranny. Well, that's it from the Global Lane. Be sure to follow us on the CBN News and NRB channels, social media, and our broadcast affiliates. And until next time, be blessed.
Kim, what's on your radar?
Alongside the thousands of working class who have resisted vaccine mandates, we're now beginning to see a string of high-profile resignations and refusals as well. People willing to give up millions of dollars. And we've heard about the thousands of employees in a variety of sectors unwilling to adhere to the mandates: hospitals, care facilities, police and fire departments, restaurants, hotels, and airlines are amongst the many industries under increased strain from workers protesting. But now we're starting to hear about the high-profile people resisting and threatening their jobs as well. 2 days ago, popular conservative radio and television talk show host Dan Bongino announced live on air to his radio syndicator Cumulus that he will quit over the mandates.
Imagine the countless number of individuals trying to explain to these companies. Ever thought of that? The countless numbers of moms and dads who are sitting at some kitchen table explaining to their kids how they may have to move out, how daddy doesn't have a job, because a bunch of people in a C-suite thought it'd be a good idea to sit around and play pretend Dr. Fauci for a moment and mandate people jam something in their bodies that they don't want to take. You ever put yourself in that role? You ever put yourself at that kitchen table with mom and dad telling their kids that? Imagine how the kids respond, that fear they got to live with. You know, I grew up without a lot of money. My mom used to make bologna sandwiches for dinner. And when the bologna was no good, you'd cook it and you'd make it good right quick, right? I'm not leaving any of those guys behind. You can have me or you can have the mandate. But you can't have both of us.
Now, Dan Bongino is himself fully vaccinated. He has been battling cancer and is currently in remission. However, he ideologically opposes mandates and is willing to give up his partnership with Cumulus if they choose to threaten people with injections in order to keep their jobs. Bongino also works for Fox News, which has a vaccine mandate with a test option for its unvaccinated employees and seems to be okay with that. But he's willing to risk his radio show, which is very popular and heard in over 300 cities. His contract is no doubt worth millions of dollars, and that's a lot of money to walk away from. Washington State University's head football coach and 4 assistant coaches were fired yesterday for not complying with their state's vaccine mandate. The head coach, Nick Rolovich, is walking away from a $3.2 million annual salary. The world's #1 men's tennis player, Novak Djokovic, will likely miss the Australian Open, a Grand Slam tournament of which he is the reigning champion over his refusal to reveal his vaccination status. Djokovic is risking his ranking and sponsors worth millions of dollars by refusing to comply. Also, NBA player Kyrie Irving, the Nets superstar point guard, will be sitting out this season over his refusal to be vaccinated. This decision could cost him his whopping $186 million contract.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
The time has come for the world to move in a new direction.
And the president outlined his vision of a new world order in which the US would participate fully.
America first.
A new world order. Presidential decrees cascading from President Trump's pen.
Sapete che da una crisi come questa non si esce uguale come prima. Si esce o migliori o peggiori. Che abbiamo il coraggio di cambiare, di essere migliori di prima.